Okay, this could be a hot take about the film we just saw.
I'm ready.
I think there's a lot more parallels than most people might think from the Wicked movie to The Lighthouse.
Oh my. Okay. You're reaching. You're reaching. You're reaching.
I'm not. Think about it. The movie ends at the top of the tower, right?
Yeah.
Right. Also, spoilers for Wicked.
Oh
If
my
you,
God.
I thought
That's
the
at
camera was
top of
over
the
there, but it's
tower.
over here now.
Spoilers for Wicked.
Spoilers for Wicked, guys. No.
Okay. You
Yeah,
know,
so
dude, that's explain yourself, and then I'll give you a movie that I think parallels Wicked.
Oh, okay.
I also kind of have a take on this.
So yeah, just there's a tower, and
There's
they're
a tower.
they're climbing up it. They're in the stairwell.
Wow.
And yeah, I think that's about
Yeah, you should
about
teach
it.
film, man.
Yeah, I
All
know.
right. You want to hear the movie I think Wicked is similar to?
Go ahead.
You're gonna call me crazy, but I think Wicked shares a lot of similarities with The Wizard of Oz. There are yellow brick roads and such like. There's a Dorothy cameo at the beginning.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So let's just clarify this movie, right? So I'm not like the biggest musical person, but I can see a musical and enjoy it. You dreaded every moment of that. And I can tell.
No.
You were like
No.
you were like tweaking the whole time. You're on your phone. You were on your phone.
I was on my phone. I was receiving urgent messages.
No, they weren't urgent.
They were urgent.
What were they?
They were reels.
Okay, bro. Those aren't urgent.
Those are
messages.
urgent. Pressing
No,
matters,
they're not.
bro.
No.
Yes, they are. No, like legitimately the movie had me captivated in the first like 20 minutes.
And then
As soon as what's her name? Ephemerelda?
what are you saying? Are you talking about
The green one.
whoa, am I forgetting? No.
It's like a Felda.
Well, no, they changed her name halfway through. What the
No,
heck,
that's
dude?
Galinda.
No, but they changed her name too because they started calling her. It's Efma. Efmaba.
F my butt.
Efmaba. Whoa, why am I forgetting this?
All right.
We should probably look this up.
We're such bad hosts.
Should I cut this out?
No, just
Should just leave it in?
just yap for a minute. I'll find the info.
What? Glenn, or what's like the I'm a witch and I'm a witch, but which is which? I remember the real.
Well, there's chocolate.
No.
All right, I'm looking at
Why don't you just look up what the name is? Glenda is one of them.
Alphaba.
Alpha. Okay, we were close.
Because it sounds like alphabet, and I was like, oh,
Ephaba?
Alphaba.
Alphaba.
Yeah.
Alphaba. Okay. So where were we going with this?
I was
Alphaba?
Alphaba.
You were saying something about her captivating you.
No, as soon as Alphaba goes to like school, I was like, oh, this is boring. And then that was like the rest of the movie. That was the next 2.5 hours.
There was a part I remember where we were waiting for Jeff Goldblum like Oz cameo, and you were like, dude, this movie's so long. And this was before we even saw him.
I know.
And
And
so-
I wasn't wrong. We were like 2 hours and 18 minutes through.
Okay, don't get me wrong. I enjoy a musical as much as the next guy.
I am
Actually
the next guy.
a little bit more than the next guy.
Yeah.
It was long. I don't
Oh.
think it needed to be that long, because musicals are normally like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
That was 2 hours and 50 minutes, and that's part one.
That's crazy. That's some Dune
And
behavior.
part two is not the Wizard of Oz. Part two is its own thing, and then there's the Wizard of Oz on top of
That's
that.
crazy.
So you haven't seen like what musicals have you seen?
Seen La La Land?
Is that it?
That's it.
That's literally it.
Well, off the top of my head, yes. I probably saw a few as a kid and like don't remember.
Okay.
But like it's not really a world I'm familiar with.
Well, I actually saw Wicked when I had to be like 8. My grandma took me. I saw the Broadway version. It was, oh, dude. I remember it being very good. And there was like the giant, dude, there's like this giant mechanical dragon. Are you
Oh.
familiar with this?
No.
So it adds no purpose to the story at all. It's just there.
Mhm.
It's like it's like a crest above the stage, and it's this giant mechanical dragon that like moves. It's like crazy.
For what purpose?
I literally none. I don't think it adds to the story at all.
Okay, this is part of my complaint with like musical, like the musical
Mhm.
world and theater in general is like.
See, okay, this is the one thing I never understood. Why would they do a giant mechanical dragon and not like? I feel like it makes so much more sense to do like Oz, like the giant mechanical Oz face, because that was cool. And actually, can we talk about this, like the CGI and the visuals
but
in this movie?
let me get my point.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me get my thing off. So like, that's not what I meant. So I was just because like. Musicals and theater at large,
Yeah.
not a medium I fully appreciate, and I'm just gonna tell you, like, I think there's just like a lot of nonsense thrown in there for no reason other than just being like glamorous.
Glamorous is the word you use. Okay.
Am I wrong?
No.
Exactly.
It's like a little pizzazz.
A little pizzazz.
A little pizzazz.
A little. What's the word? Je ne sais quoi.
Okay. So. Okay, let's get this straight. Let's not nose around with the audience.
Yeah.
What would you rate this movie out of 10?
I
Not
haven't-
5.
Out of
10.
10, I haven't even gone on Letterboxd yet, so I'm really still kind of trying to cook on this rating.
Yeah.
And this rating is gonna seem really bad at first.
Well, I'm gonna encourage everyone to keep in mind that the reason it's individual ratings is because people like different things.
Right, and I am so not the target demographic for this movie.
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all. And my rating is gonna seem. I feel.
Okay,
so,
you have to admit, at least we had fun.
We
'Cause
had fun,
We had Allie.
and I feel so bad.
She was on the pod last episode.
friend of the pod, Allie. I feel really bad because like she wanted me to see it and like enjoy it, and like I enjoyed parts of it,
Yeah.
but I have to rate it on the whole and how it made me feel as a person.
Okay.
I treasured the experience. If you're watching, Allie,
Well, here,
but,
but
like-
before you give a number,
I'm gonna
let's. Can you say some things you enjoyed and then maybe a couple things you disliked?
absolutely. Apparently there's a lot of stuff added in from the actual musical.
Yeah.
I thought the pacing was really good.
Really?
I will just it was long, like no doubt, but I wasn't ever like okay. Even when I was watching Dune this year, I was like, oh, this is a little long.
Yeah.
But with the new Oz movie, Wicked, I forgot the name of
The new
it.
Oz movie.
The new Oz movie. There was something so new and like exciting happening every scene that I never cared. Yeah. I just never felt like it was a burden to be there.
I also I kind of get what you're saying
Mhm.
too. I mean, it definitely was long. Don't get me
Oh
wrong.
yeah.
But I did like the pacing. Nothing felt rushed, but it didn't necessarily drag.
It
you know?
never let up on its pace. It doesn't necessarily move at the fastest pace, but the pace it does have, it doesn't let go of that.
I will say there was some times where, like the CGI animals threw me off just like a little bit.
You know those were really real animals?
No, but I will say, I mean, I'm not one of those people. I actually kind of clown on the people that was like, do you know they used no CGI for this movie?
Yeah.
But you can tell that they built a lot of those sets.
Yeah, I was.
You get a pretty good sense of scale.
I thought the whole because you were telling me about that joke probably like this time last week or
Yeah.
something, and I thought that was just like theater kids not understanding how they like make movies. Like
No, but they planted
No.
like thousands and thousands of flowers.
I
for that
was
field.
impressed because
I
like
think the opening shot, like the sweep over, I
Mhm.
think that may have had some CGI in it, just because like
yeah.
that's crazy. But I think like when we're focused on a little like village and you see the flowers, fields in the background, I think that's all.
The
real.
one part that really stood out as practical to me is when she's jumping across the stones in the pond.
Yeah,
I was like,
Mhm.
oh, this is like really practical.
I mean, I don't know. We're getting to that point where CGI is like it's
pretty
good
seamless,
CGI
yeah.
is undistinguishable. I
Right.
mean, that's the best CGI you don't notice. That's what they always say.
Yeah. You do notice a good practical effect.
That's true.
But like good practical effects are awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't really mind.
So, do you think at the beginning of the movie when they were burning the like witch statue,
I made a
do you think that was real fun? Because at least for some of it, it looked pretty real.
It did look really real. I would have to say at least part of it, like the base maybe.
I think it was actually on fire. But I think when they did the sweep over where it kind of went like through it,
Yeah.
I think that may have been
Yeah.
where they like.
There's some finagling going
So
on
I
there.
think they did a good mixture in this film. I'd like to see the breakdown, but I think they did a good mixture of blending those two worlds of CGI and the actual, which I think, I'm sure for everyone on set having those giant practical sets, I'm sure that helps.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure it's like a theater kid's dream.
Oh, and theater kids were abundant on that
Yeah,
set.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know that much.
Do you have like the people from SNL too that were on there, and it's like
In
Yeah.
the movie?
Yeah.
Who?
I don't remember. There was a couple, but maybe 2, 3, 2. I only know one of them I can point out was the guy with the glasses. He was kind of like he was always with that one other girl. It was like Glenda's like 2 friends,
Oh,
like
yeah,
her
yeah.
2 like besties.
That's the guy from SNL?
Yeah.
I know who you're talking
He
about.
he plays he does the JD Vance impression.
Yeah. That's great.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I
Yeah.
think I've seen it before.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Rating time.
Rating time?
Rating
Okay.
time.
You have to understand that I'm going to explain how my ratings work. They work a bit like, I don't know if you've seen the Fantano video where he explains how they work, but
Yeah.
I think ever since I saw that, it's something I adopted because it really makes sense. A 10 is like, it's fully for me. I love everything about this. It's like a no skip if we were going to do like an album comparison. A 5, I am neutral on. It doesn't hold positive or negative for me. It just is, and it exists. And a 0 is just like the opposite of a 10. This is like atrocious, and I don't want anything to do with it.
You recommend other people stay away from it.
Yeah, I recommend please don't indulge in this because you're going to end up as a worse person. So, like, my rating, and it's going to sound really bad at first, but you got to stick with me because I'll explain myself. I can't, well, it seems harsh, and I'm probably going to rate it more positively once I, like, get on Letterboxd and think about it a bit more. No, now I'm second-guessing myself.
Oh.
Can I give you a range of scores?
Sure.
This movie is going to land anywhere. Oh, it's so tough. It's going to land from like a 4 to a 6.
Okay.
Because
I actually thought that was going to be a lot lower from you.
no, it was really good. But the thing is, like, when I'm thinking about it critically, I still think about the things I enjoy. So it barely just leans negative. But then on the other side, when I think about it positively, I'm like, oh, I like that, and I like that, and I like that. So I kind of want to lean above. At the highest I can picture giving this is like an 8. I just don't want to. I'm not comfortable going that high yet. Like I got to build it up.
Yeah.
I never.
I feel like an 8 would be a little high for you.
Oh,
for
me,
this movie.
yeah. But like I can picture one day, like after
Yeah.
having seen it a few times, and
Maybe the second one, that part 2.
yeah, maybe it's a Dune thing because
Yeah.
Dune Part 1, a lot of people didn't like upon arrival, or they didn't think it was like perfect, and then Dune 2 happened, and everyone was like, "Oh, Dune 1."
See, I'm gonna rank this movie now.
Go for it.
So I feel like movies that I'm gonna explain my scale a little bit.
Okay.
Just kind of starting from 5. Anything below 5, I feel like for me can kind of just be justified. Like obviously 1 is like not great.
Not it.
I'd say a 3 or 4 would be like a movie that's like it's bad, but like maybe it's like so bad it's funny.
Yeah.
So it's like a little bit enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say like maybe a 5. I feel like a lot of my movies fall from anywhere from 5 to like the 7.5 range, like an average movie.
Yeah.
So I'd rate this movie like
a 10.
like a high to mid 6.
Okay.
See, because I enjoy musicals.
Mhm.
I although it's a little foggy, and I knew like parts and fragments of each song, I do remember the experience of seeing Wicked, and I remember enjoying it.
Yeah, and that's not something I'm looking to like take away from you when I bring up
No,
critiques or
not at
anything.
all.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's just like we are very different people just on an individual level, and also
Yeah.
like we appreciate different things when we look for art. And
Mhm.
also you have all this background with it. And really my only background with this movie is having seen The Wizard of Oz, and I've also seen Oz the Great and Powerful.
Yeah.
Which has nothing to do with this
Can we
movie.
talk about that movie really quick?
I don't mind it.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was corny.
It is corny. And
So I think this movie did a great job because I feel like any Oz related media always flops.
yeah.
And I feel like it has for a few years.
Almost
now.
like strangely so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously, I feel like, I mean, I haven't seen the
that's-
stats, but I'm pretty sure this movie did not flop.
That's one thing I'm like so confused about.
Yeah.
I am so confused. Okay, so take two movies that came out, I think, in the same year. We got Wizard of Oz,
Mhm.
and let's talk Gone with the Wind. Let's just real
Oh.
quick. I want to bring up a point. Like, people from our generation are not like they're not salivating over the idea of watching the Wizard of Oz. I feel like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden Wicked comes out and everyone's a big fan. Like, I
Mhm.
don't get it. Like, what is it about?
So-
like, if they did the same thing with Gone with the Wind, where if they did like a musical now, like 90 years later, would people still be like, "Oh my
Okay.
gosh, I love
Well,
it"?
let-
I don't.
let me explain really quick, okay? So, I have a theory for that.
Okay.
The Wizard of Oz as just like a piece of media,
Mhm.
not Wicked, just the Wizard of Oz.
The film.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's like it definitely holds a place in. I feel like film too,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
like that was like
first
was-
color. Well, one of the
yeah,
first color ones.
yeah, and I feel like that was also like, it was that entering the golden era.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
exiting, or in between.
No, it was exiting because like 39 is considered like
Yeah.
the peak year of cinema or whatever, and then the 40s and the 50s was bronze, and then we got
Mhm.
silver. Or not, sorry,
So-
silver and then bronze.
I feel like everyone can kind of just like respect that. It's whatever.
Mhm.
I mean, like there is singing in it. I don't know if I'd call that a musical. Call me crazy.
I was thinking about the same thing, and I wanted to talk about it because I think the
Yeah.
music in Wicked and the music in The Wizard of Oz are used for like two very different things.
It-
And we could talk about it.
Can we wait a second for that
Yep,
conversation?
yep,
Because after
yep.
that, I want to
I
get
just-
into the
I want to remember that.
narrative part.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was saying, I think where the difference between The Wizard of Oz and Wicked is Wicked has been a very, very popular. I think it's still on Broadway.
It must be.
I think it's been on Broadway for years.
That's great. How long has it been on Broadway?
I think a long, long time.
Like-
it was a lot. It was a lot of people. It was like the musical for
is it
like years.
Phantom of the Opera level.
I think because Phantom of the Opera has been out of Broadway.
Well, now it's coming back. So
yeah,
they
but
say.
I don't think Wicked's been off of Broadway.
Right, but
So that just kind of shows the level it has. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily in like the musical theater like space, so
Yeah.
I can only I only know through friends and stuff
right.
and like the experiences I've shared with them. So I'm just kind of talking from my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the musical that kind of it's like the gateway almost.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like a classic story.
Yeah.
Almost everybody knows. Even if
characters that people
Yes.
will recognize already.
even if you haven't seen The Wizard of Oz, you can somewhat, even if you don't know the names, because I think they also like renamed some of the characters in this.
I couldn't tell you.
Even like if you didn't know, because you didn't know the names of these characters,
Yeah.
you can be like, that's the witch from The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, they're just
and
so-
that's like the
good witch.
The good witch. Is
Yeah.
it the queen? I want to say queen.
I don't think she's
I don't.
queen.
You know what I'm saying? The good witch.
Yeah, she's like the good witch of the East, right? Isn't that what
Yeah. I
or
think
is that
so.
the one that gets crushed by the Wicked Witch of the East gets crushed by the house at the beginning, right? Or am I just completely making that
I
up?
think the wicked witch gets crushed at the beginning.
But then the Wicked Witch.
Oh, wait, you're so
melts
right.
At the end,
You're so right.
yeah.
I'm not sure. No, but it's just like it's a piece of media that everyone knows,
Mm-hmm.
and it's adapted, and it's somewhat. I remember it being fairly easy to follow. This is I'm talking about the actual Broadway version,
Right.
Not necessarily, the one we just saw.
Yeah.
But I think that it just kind of becomes a cult classic
Mhm.
for theater kids.
Yeah.
So that's why I think this did so well, opposed to the Wizard of Oz remake, the Oz the Great and Powerful. Also, fun fact: the reason it's called that is because the Wizard of Oz book
Mhm.
is open domain,
Yeah.
but the actual movie
Is
they made
not.
is not. So that's why there's all of these different
Yeah.
spin-offs.
So that
and-
was my other question: is like, is this new Wicked movie canonical to the original movie? Because clearly Dorothy, like, straight up was like Judy.
all of those characters in the beginning.
I'm sorry, I just touched
No, you're good.
her.
All those characters in the beginning in that sweeping shot,
Yeah.
I think are supposed to be the characters in
I
that
thought
first one.
was this a Warner Brothers movie?
I don't
Wicked?
remember.
I don't know.
I don't actually.
I
remember
honestly
seeing.
don't remember seeing a credit logo at the beginning.
I'm sure there was one.
we
I
I wasn't
missed
paying
it.
attention.
But no, so I think in terms of universe anyways, I think it's following the same plot as that first movie, The Wizard of Oz, but I don't think it's necessarily like tied, if you know what that makes. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it is a continuation, but it's not like the gospel of Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. So like I have a
For lack of a better
yes,
term.
I have a very strong feeling once they're done with part 2 that they'll probably do The Wizard of Oz.
You think so?
I don't know how many years, and I actually don't know when the original movie comes into open domain.
Well, it's like 95 years is like the public domain life cycle. So that puts dude, that lines up. That puts it at 2034. Like that's not
When did The Wizard of Oz come out?
1939.
Yeah, 1930. Yeah,
So that puts it in 2034, which okay, it's a little far off for what they're doing right now, but that's
Yeah.
not out of the realm of possibility.
no, not at all.
Honestly, I would kind of be interested. I feel
Yeah.
like the Wizard of Oz has like lived its life.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
it's had so many just like flops. I feel like even if like someone didn't like enjoy that, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying
Right.
even if someone didn't like thoroughly enjoy this movie, I still feel like it's a nice step into the right direction.
Yeah.
And it's another one of those things where I was talking about a couple of pods ago that I think we're entering like I mean, I guess technically would this be considered it's not a remake
Nope.
because it's
It's
a adaptation of a musical.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very like thin line to kind of walk,
Yep.
and I think they did it well.
Yeah.
Because I'm so done with remakes, dude. I'm so done with remakes.
Interesting. Is this part of your take on How to Train Your Dragon?
Oh no, but do you want to talk about that?
We can later.
Okay. Yeah. Wait. Do we want to talk about kind of like? Because I have a lot of questions about the way musicals are formatted.
Let's talk about everything related to Wicked first, and then we can do our little movie
you
wrap
have,
up at
do
the
you
end.
have Do you have something else to add? Because this kind of mine thing kind of fits into Wicked.
This was like so unexpectedly funny to me.
Yeah. Well, I think we were making.
Well, I was
Fun.
making fun of it.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, it was funny for like those reasons. I was making fun of it the whole time. I feel so bad.
We just kept doing it like a Jeff Goldblum impression.
Well,
I'm the Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
should
Yeah.
the birds be yellow or purple?
Should they? Maybe try red. When he was like walking up the stairs, he was like humming or something. I don't even.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum noises.
That's what it should be in the
Yeah,
caption.
if we had seen it with
Also,
subtitles.
I thought that was supposed to be one of the subtitles.
Nope, subtitles was at 620.
You're right.
Yep,
You're right.
we saw 3D.
Dude, that was. Oh, I hate 3D movies.
I don't really have a preference.
I do because they give me a headache. I will like oftentimes. I mean, this is like just a reoccurring theme. I'll just take the glasses off because I mean it is still it's still headache inducing looking at the blurry image.
Yeah.
It's not blurry all the time, but like I it's less headache inducing, and I feel like for someone that like appreciates like the visuals so much, it takes away. It makes the image a lot darker.
It does.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
like, you're good.
It
A lot
messes
less
with the
defined.
color a bit.
Yeah, it does.
And this is actually one thing I noticed. I'm probably gonna do some research into this. I pointed this out briefly, that it's less blurry when the focal length
It's like
was wider. So when when the focal length is tighter, it's a lot more blurry. I actually don't know what causes that.
I know nothing about that kind of stuff, dude. So I'm the wrong person. But I did notice that once you had told me. I took off my glasses and saw it, and I was like, "Whoa, that's kind of."
So what else? What else about this movie did you want to rant about?
Let's see here. Rant about like in a good way or a bad way?
Just wrapping up the Wicked conversation, and then we can talk a little bit more about musicals.
The Wicked conversation. I feel like people are like especially you and Allie, who I saw the movie with. I think you're under the impression that like I hated it. Like it was a 0 out of 10. It sucked, and I don't think that. I'm clearly not the target demographic for this.
I don't feel like you
Not
are.
in the slightest, dude. You want to? Okay, I'll save this talk for after the pod, I guess. But there is a movie that's kind of considered a remake of Wizard of Oz that's like much more my style. So I think after seeing that and like comparing this with that, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't go back now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I like movies that vibe more with like the weirder side and kind of and I'm not saying this is like a diss on people who enjoy theater or musicals, but when I see a movie, essentially what I want to experience is kind of like being in a museum.
Okay.
I don't want to be at an amusement park. You know, like
That's what you're saying.
I'd rather be questioned intellectually and ethically than just to be like fed jokes and you know that kind of like.
Can I just point something out that I noticed this one did different than a lot of on-screen musical adaptations? I noticed that because I feel like a lot of times with adaptations of musicals, they'll go hard cut, full pivot, like something dramatic happens, but it's explained in a song, and then they just continue. I feel like this, like, there was moments where there is important moments and they were singing, but I don't feel like that, like, because like with this, I feel like you could take the singing out of it and still follow those steps like that they did while they're singing, and it would still work rather than like the singing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
one critique I had with this movie, and we can.
Oh, you disliked that?
I disliked the fact that you could probably take all of these songs out, and I would still understand the story.
Really? Because I think that's an up.
No, it's a down.
Really?
Because then what's the purpose of the songs? You're making me sit here another 20 minutes for songs that I don't particularly enjoy.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But I feel like you also have to understand that that is Wicked.
Yeah.
Like that, because that's the source material.
But like, should it be?
Are you saying a Wicked without music?
Yeah.
Without songs?
Yeah.
Dude, Jeff Goldblum's song.
Okay, no, that's a keeper. But Jeff Goldblum would have
really,
sung anyway.
He didn't really. He just talked.
He talked
in like a melodic
in a pitch,
and he did tap dancing that was very clearly not.
It was
him.
such a stunt double.
It like cut to his feet, and I'm like, those are not. That's not Jeff Goldblum. He's like.
It's like, here's his face, and then here's a close-up of his toes. And it's like, that's not Jeff Goldblum.
No.
No, I definitely, like, none of the songs did anything for me. Especially in that last moment when it's like, it's the TikTok moment, right? When she belts out the note and her cape is like 90 feet long.
That's my lime.
I don't...
that.
Yeah. That was not that triumphant of a moment.
Okay.
I'm going to be fully honest. That was like...
I disagree.
That was not the mic drop they thought it was.
I think maybe the belting wasn't... I mean, it definitely was an important moment.
No, it's an important...
Because it's setting up the second
important
act
climax
or the second
to
part.
the story. But, like, the musical moment mixed with the visuals, it's like, this is not... This is...
Do you think that moment would have played out better if... This is... Take the time consideration out of it, like the length of the film.
Yeah.
Do you think that scene would have played out better if it had the second part directly after it and it just went into like the second like
no,
part
because
of
then it'd be even more anticlimactic.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't blame them. There's not really a better way to end it, but this is the stupid thing with like 2-part stories is that I feel like stories need to have a 3-act structure. And when you're trying to break it into 2 parts, you're either doing like 1.5 acts per film, or you're doing 3 acts that have to add up to 6. And
it's hard.
It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I was very impressed with the Dune movies. And
they
kind of got away with it because the first Dune movie is really like a fourth or a third of the book.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for all the Dune comparisons, but really that's like the first thing that comes to mind because that's another
like kind of split into parts.
Came out this year. It's kind of on the mind. The second movie of the new Dune franchise covers like the last 3/4.
Yeah.
Which is
I actually think that works in their benefit.
It does.
Over something like that.
Because then they don't have to like oddly split it up in the way that they did. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Let's just talk really quick about this because I was kind of confused about this.
Go for it.
How do you feel, like, if you were to put yourself in the world of a character in a musical, right?
Okay.
do you acknowledge the songs? Like, do you know the songs are happening?
That's one thing.
Or do you just live in a fairy tale
Yeah.
world where that's just normal?
That's what I wanted to ask Allie, and then I forgot because she's
Yeah.
clearly more into this world than I am. But like, how does everyone know to sing the right rhythm and the right melody?
Mhm.
Like, how do they know? Is this just like a fairy tale imagined world where everyone knows?
Okay, this is how I see it.
Okay.
I feel like if you were to put yourself in the shoes of that character,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know the singing is happening. That's for the audience.
That's for the audience.
That's for the audience.
Yeah, because I like.
I feel like it's like a dumb question, but like at the same time, it's like you could. I feel like there's a lot of different stances you could take.
This is giving me the same vibes. Like, I don't want to get too off track.
No, don't worry about it.
But there's a very out there theory that all of the characters in Star Wars, because it takes place in a galaxy far, far away, all of them are like bugs and aliens. But the important ones, the ones you need to hear talking, are turned into humans for the audience.
Oh.
Right? Like Chewbacca, you don't need to know. R2-D2, you don't need to know. The rest of everybody, like, you got to know what they're saying. So it's
That's
like
interesting.
for the audience, it's a stupid theory. It's stupid.
But
like,
it is interesting.
and then that kind of makes me wonder if it's the same thing with musicals. Is it like are they aware that they're singing, or
Yeah.
Are
Do you
they-
change that perception just for
Right.
the audience's sake? Like also like I haven't seen it, but I've seen people talk about it.
mm-hmm.
It's I think it's not I think it's the Black Widow movie.
Yeah,
There's a Russian dude
yeah,
in Russia
speaking
with a Russian accent speaking English.
Yeah,
So is he actually speaking Russian? It's just English so the audience can understand?
right.
I think that character, I haven't seen the movie, but I can almost guarantee that character would have been colder if it was
Just
just
in Russian
captions.
subtitles, but that's not accessible to the modern audience,
No.
I guess.
No. But
And
yeah, that's a good question.
And yeah, and I hate to be like a stupid like intellectual jerk about it, but like if hypothetically they know they're singing,
Yeah.
then clearly they all have some kind of like Neuralink, and they know when to sing and when to like hit the note and where to hit it on a musical scale.
Mhm.
If they know all this, why can't the problems of the film be like also Neuralinked and like everybody come to a solution?
Yeah.
I'm like your brains all work on the same wavelength for music and nothing else, which is what makes me think it's like for the audience's enjoyment.
I think your comparison to it being like a different language, or like for example, like you used like the Star Wars theory, I think that is probably the best example, and I think that works.
Yeah.
It's like it's for the audience.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for them. They don't necessarily know it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me thought it was like a Deadpool situation. Do they know they're in a musical? I don't think they do.
No, they don't.
No,
These are the most unaware characters of all time. I'm sorry.
No, but visually,
Beautiful.
it was a very nice
Gorgeous.
movie. It was a gorgeous movie.
Yeah.
They knew it. They were cooking.
They were
They knew
cooking.
what
I
they
wish
did.
we had seen that in IMAX, but like,
Yeah.
I think Gladiator was playing in the IMAX instead tonight.
Well, we'll talk about that soon. Hopefully.
We'll have an episode soon as
We-
as we both watch Gladiator.
We were
1.
debating seeing Wicked and Gladiator. We honestly, if we had the setup, we both probably would have preferred Gladiator. I'm glad I saw this because this is probably one of the more. It's not one of my favorite movies I've seen this year, but it's definitely one of the more popular ones.
Yeah. I'm glad we got to kind of add a pod angle to this one.
Yeah. Because it's not necessarily targeted towards us, but we both kind of have different perspectives.
We do. And
But I think we would have. So the problem with Gladiator is we were gonna see it, but neither of us have seen the first
Yeah.
Gladiator.
that's great.
I'm looking over there thinking there's a camera.
I
there.
have seen like the first hour of it, and that I didn't not finish it because it was bad. It was just kind of a movie where I was like, I've seen an hour of this. I understand kind of what its vibe is.
Yeah.
And I got busy, and it was just one of those things I never picked back up again.
But I definitely want to watch it.
Yeah.
Do you know the 300?
Oh,
Is the 300 the one where it zooms in and zooms back out during fights?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I
I was making
thoroughly
sure that wasn't Gladiator.
I thoroughly enjoy 300.
yeah.
Have you
no,
seen it?
I have not, but
Oh,
I've seen
It's
seen
like
how
so
they
bad.
I've seen how they do that camera thing, which is really cool. They
Yeah.
have two cameras.
Mm-hmm.
One doing ultra slow-mo,
Mhm.
the other doing normal, and the ultra slow-mo is cropped in, so when they crop in, they just stitch it together.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, there's an insane shot in
Mm.
that movie, and it's like not a spoiler. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not really a spoiler, but like it's like 300 dudes going against like
Yeah.
a 20,000 person army or whatever. And there's just a shot when they defeat the first wave and they're all celebrating. They're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But the other army's hanging back for like the bigger part of the enemy army is hanging back for some reason. And they're like, why are they hanging back? And then the sky turns dark. And it's because the enemy army is firing like thousands of arrows straight at them.
Crazy.
It like clouds the sky and the whole sky turns dark. And you're like,
I like that.
It's like one of the biggest moments of dread I've ever had watching a movie.
That's cool.
It's so cold.
Jeez.
The sky turning black because of...
I'll put it on my list, but I definitely want to see Gladiator first.
That's definitely the more like art film pick.
So I think this is a good transition to just kind of talk about some things coming up with the pod.
Yep.
So we wanted to talk a bit about quality control with the pod. Not necessarily that any of these past episodes have been bad per se, but we're just saying the goal is to get a pod out a week.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if we're both really not feeling it, which almost happened today.
Almost. We came kind
this
of
close. But I feel like we thugged it out and it worked.
We thugged.
No, but if we're really not feeling it, we don't want to deliver a bad episode.
Yeah.
You know?
The last thing we want is just to like...
We'd rather come back next week a lot stronger.
Yeah.
That being said, we're taking some precautions to make the episodes shorter because they have been way too long recently.
Every episode we've said, this is going to be the shortest one yet, and they keep getting longer.
So you're going to notice that the episodes, unless it's like a super like more interesting topic or we have a guest or something.
The episode with Allie was an exception,
Yes.
I think, because it was with a guest, and we were covering a lot
It
of...
was a ranking.
It was a ranking.
So expect the normal traditional me and Jonah episodes to be anywhere from, let's say, 35 to 50 minutes.
50
so
minutes.
just under an hour.
Yeah.
Which looks like we're kind of coming there now, but that's
okay.
besides the point.
Yeah. As long as we're under like an hour and 20
That's
today,
dude,
I'm fine.
Dude, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, so just quality control, making sure that you guys are still enjoying this content because we got some fans. We got some fans.
You have a fan.
I have a singular fan.
Hey, if you're the lady that thinks he's kind of pretty, just get your comment out now.
Okay, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, but that being said, we're doing something a little bit different.
Yep.
The rest of December is going to look a little bit different for the pod. So let's just how do we want to do this? I want to go over our full schedule and what we're going to be doing.
Then do it.
All right. Okay. All right.
Go for it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not stopping you.
No, so starting next week, we are going to be releasing one episode every day leading up to Christmas. That's the goal. That's the goal.
We're very excited, but it is a bit of a daunting task.
It is. These episodes are going to be 15 to 20 minutes each. They're going to be short episodes talking about one topic. So they're kind of going to be formatted more. It's going to be like in between a YouTube video and a podcast.
Yeah, it's going to be like mini episodes.
Yeah, but it should be good. And there'll be a lot of content to see. If you have any recommendations for, we're cooking up a list, but if you have any recommendations of movies or things you want us to talk about, drop them below.
Comments.
There's a very good chance we'll pick them too.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel for ideas.
We're not scraping the bottom of the barrel. We just haven't fully cooked to the top yet.
Yes. So we're still coming up with ideas at the moment. But then the last episode hopefully will be longer. If somehow miraculously we hit 100 subscribers, which is really ambitious, and I don't think it's going to happen. But if somehow it happens, we will have Mr. Wenland, our old film and new media teacher, back on the pod.
Friend of the
or
pod.
on the pod. Yeah.
We consider him a friend.
Can we talk about, really side note, what he said?
Oh my gosh.
Mr. Wenland.
Wenland. Not even Mr. Just
Wenland.
Wenland. You called us knuckleheads to our guest.
So So we had Allie on last episode, right? And
fuming, angry. Put the mic down.
Oh, well, no, what was the? Why did he say it though?
He said it
kind of forgot
because we wouldn't let her use the black chair.
That's
the Wenland chair.
So we have a black. So I have the blue. He has the green. We have a black chair that's for Mr. Wenland only, the director's chair.
Yeah.
For our film and new media teacher, I think it fits, and we haven't sat in it because we're saving it for him. Allie wanted it. We told her no. She was a little bit mad because they didn't go with their outfit. But hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I picked up these chairs, I'm like, oh, dude, I don't want the black chairs so bad.
Well, yeah,
I know, but it's for Mr. Wendland.
It's for Mr. Wendland. Friends of the pod.
Yeah, and then he messaged Allie on Instagram. You go.
Okay.
You
okay.
go.
Mr. Wendland directly messaged. He DM'd. He messaged Allie and was like, Allie, I must apologize because I taught these two knuckleheads about film, but not how to be a gentleman. Crazy. Like, crazy. It's wild. I cannot believe it.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't even know where I was. Okay, no, I do. All right. Sorry. No, so hopefully if we can somehow hit the goal, we'll have Mr. Wendland on the pod. If not, we'll cook up some other ideas. We want the last episode. That one might not be the exact day. That might not be the exact 12th day. It will probably be before or after Christmas. We want you guys to go enjoy your Christmas and not be watching our podcast.
Are they going to drop the next episode today? No, just go hang out with your families or whatever.
And then going into the new year.
Oh, I'm so excited for this.
So I'm just gonna lay it all out for everyone to know.
Yeah, do it.
We are going to do an episode where we have a physical tier list, and we are going to. Me and John are going to debate, and we're going to list all of the movies we've seen this year from S to F tier. We're gonna rank them all, and I am really excited for that episode.
Guys, there's a lot to be excited about because between now and this tier list,
there's some good movies.
You have
coming
to understand
out.
What's coming out. We're getting Gladiator 2. We could rank Gladiator. No, because that's not a movie from this year. Or do we want to rank movies we watched this year? No, just movies.
Gladiator
that came out this
2.
Year. Gladiator 1.
No, we probably won't.
It was
rank
a pod watch, but I see what you're saying. Gladiator 2 is coming out. Nosferatu is coming out. The Bob Dylan movie is coming out.
Complete unknown.
And there's a few others we could throw in there if we wanted to. We could probably see. I'm not too invested in seeing Heretic, but it's an option.
Yeah.
Conclave, I heard, is good.
We're gonna try to see Red One.
We're gonna try.
That's for the Christmas
Red
episodes.
One. That's a Christmas special.
No. But also expect. I don't know when exactly we'd record it. I don't know if we'd record it right after we see them, and then post the pod later, but after the new year, we're gonna have an episode coming out where we talk about Las
Vegas.
No, not Las Vegas. Oh,
what are you?
Not Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
Sorry, I'm tweaking.
Nosferatu.
Not Nosferatu and A Complete Unknown. We're gonna have an episode where we talk about those two. That will be coming out after the new year.
Yeah.
So.
And here's my thing.
Yeah.
Once we've seen Nosferatu, we've seen 2 of the 4 Robert Eggers movies that exist. So I'm thinking we just catch up on the other 2 and do ourselves a little bit of a director tier ranking.
I like that.
I like it too.
I like that a lot.
We're cooking up some ideas.
Imagine if we did like...
Imagine?
Low taper fade. Sorry. Do you know what's crazy? Is that low taper fade meme is still massive.
You know what's massive?
Okay, bro. The low taper fade
yes,
meme?
Yes. That was certainly what I was about to say.
Oh, dude, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
Talking about, I had just mentioned a Robert Eggers tier list, and
I was saying, dude, it would be really, really cool if one day we had a Patreon and we could do a live commentary. Because I'm pretty sure you can just post like the movie.
You can post whatever you want. Yeah. It's private and people have to pay to see it. So
that would be cool.
It would
live
be
commentary.
What if we
dude? We're like, sorry to Allie. I know she's watching this. I'm so sorry, dude. We're horrible to watch movies with.
We're the worst.
But
dude,
like it works for us.
Yeah,
our brains process it like that.
We should totally do like a Patreon exclusive couch episode.
Ooh,
can we?
I like that.
Where we just watch a movie on a screen. We sit on a couch and we just get a couple mics. Yeah. And then maybe occasionally layover footage, and we just clip the highlights.
I like that.
Of our best commentary.
I like that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. There's a lot in store. We hope you guys are enjoying this. We enjoy doing it.
We love it.
So we're going to keep producing pods for you as long as we're enjoying it.
Yeah.
And we have a passion for it, which
we do.
So we're excited for the next couple of weeks. They're going to be packed, but hopefully pretty good.
Yeah.
We're excited to have Mr. Wendland on hopefully soon.
We're approximately a third of the way to having him on.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And then also, what
You
is
guys
it? Would
have
this
been
be our
fun-
5th episode? 5th or 6th?
Counting the.
Yeah, count it. I'd count it. Why not?
Then it's our 5th.
This is our 5th episode.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot more after.
Yeah.
After
the
wow.
holiday season, there's
Jeez.
going to be like 17.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
All right.
Well, I think that's it.
I think
Do you have any
our
closing
wicked.
notes?
What's that?
Closing notes?
My wicked ranking. Pick a number from 4 to 6.
I'm going high 6.
High 6. Okay.
And once again, we encourage you to go see it yourself.
Go see it
come to your own conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not a huge musical person, The Wizard of Oz is an important piece of media, and this comes along with it.
It's still massive in the cinema world.
No!